Going to show you how to make a metal sculpture. So I have here a crucible. In the crucible I have some tin. Tin is a fairly easy metal to melt, one of the easiest known. Over here I have a ceramic mold. This is what I'm asking you to make if you're in ceramics. In this case it's pretty simple. Kaylee McGee a few years ago stuck her thumb into the wet clay. It's left an indentation. It's a mold of her thumb. I'm going to try to pour molten metal into the mold. So to do that, I'm going to use fire to melt the metal. I need a nice hot flame. The crucible can withstand very high temperatures. That's really its purpose in life. I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on to help keep the heat in. It'll melt a little faster if I do that. So I need the hottest part of the flame on the bottom of the crucible. You can see here I've got a little clay triangle to support the crucible. So if you're going to do this in the lab in a few weeks, you'll want to ask for a clay triangle, and I will supply crucibles as well. You supply the mold. I'm going to open the lid, see how things are going here. Doesn't look like, yeah, it's starting to melt. It is starting to melt. Let it heat for a few seconds more, maybe a minute, maybe a couple of minutes. Don't really know. You probably can't see, but the clay is starting to glow red hot. That's a good sign. I've got my tongs handy. I'm going to pick up the crucible with my tongs, pour the molten metal into the ceramic mold. The tin is looking a little gray on the surface. That's a sign of oxidation, actually. Ah, it's molten. Alright, so the tin is molten. I'm going to pour the liquid metal into my ceramic mold. So to do that, I'm going to first turn off my fire. Then I'm going to pick up my bowl. Then I'm going to pour the molten metal into the mold, like so. Going to shake my mold a little bit to settle the metal. Going to let it cool. This is a different view. The metal is still molten, but it's starting to cool. And as it cools, you may be able to see kind of a little skin forming on the surface. This is all normal. Okay, the tin metal has been cooling for about 5 minutes. I'm now going to try to take it out of the mold. There it is. Okay, so here's a casting of a thumb in tin metal. And what you want to realize is that you could make any sort of sculpture you want as long as it's something that you can push into the wet clay. So you could think about a little object, a little Pokemon figure, a little charm, something nice that you could put into the clay and just bring this mold with you to chemistry class. So there you go. That's casting a metal sculpture.